Good evening and welcome back. We're going to do some southern smothered potatoes. All you need is potatoes and onions and a little seasoning. Stay tuned. Okay, all you need is these 3 potatoes. I have them sitting in cold water. I peeled them. And I'm just going to chop them up. Not really small and not too big. Excuse the noise in the background. One of my grandsons is watching Boss Baby. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. But anyway, we're just going to chop these potatoes. And like I said, we're not going to chop them too small or too big. And I got the oil warming on the stove, and it's about 3 tablespoons of oil. And you could use used oil or fresh oil, it doesn't matter. So we're just gonna chop these potatoes and get them started. So I'm gonna do this one, and then I'm gonna chop the other 2 off camera for the sake of time. And then I'll be back once I get them all cut up and ready to go in this oil. And make sure your water is cold. That way your potatoes won't turn brown before you're ready to put them in the oil. Okay? So there we go. Alrighty, we're just gonna cut the potato in half. Slice it again in half, and then just cut it however big you want it. I don't like mine real big, so this is about the size that I like mine. And we're just going to use a half a chopped onion and just regular seasoning salt, garlic powder, pepper, and a little parsley. And that's all you need. Okay, I'm going to finish these off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I have the 4 seasonings that I'm going to be using on my potatoes. I have my potatoes all cooked, so we're going to use Lorry seasoned salt, black pepper, parsley flakes, and garlic powder. That's it. And you can use as much as you like, how you want to season it. So you don't want them too salty or not enough salt. So you're going to add the seasoning to your taste. So here's the potatoes. And what I'm going to do is drain the water off. And I'm going to go over to the stove and start putting them in the pan with the hot grease. Okay, we over here. I got the fire on medium. So it's warm. We're just going to start adding the potatoes. Ouch. Okay, you want to do it kind of quick. And after I add all the potatoes, I'm just going to coat them all with the oil and let them cook for about 10 minutes. I'm not going to add the seasoning until after they get almost completely done. And you can actually, if you don't like onion, you can make these without the onion. So I'm just going to take this spatula and I'm just going to move them all around and let them all coat with the oil. Just coat them all with the oil. And just let them brown on one side at a time. So I'm just going to let them cook like this on medium. for about 10 minutes. If I come back before 10 minutes, if I check them before 10 minutes, I'll come back and let you know. Whenever I check them, you'll be right here with me. So for now, we're just going to let them cook. And I'm going to set the timer to make sure it's 10 minutes. I don't want to give you a false time. Okay, so I think mine are coated pretty well. We're just going to let them cook like this for about 10 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, it's been about 6 minutes, so we're just going to move them around. Just move them around. Continue to let them coat with the oil. And what I'm using is a non-stick skillet by Princess House. This is a 10-inch skillet. And if you're using a skillet that's not non-stick, your potatoes may stick a little, so you want to check yours a little more frequently. But if you're using a non-stick pan, the same length of time that I'm doing is fine. Okay, so we're going to continue to let them cook. And I'm going to reset the timer. So I checked them at 6 minutes, so now I'm going to let them cook for maybe 6 to 10 more minutes before I come back and check them again. Okay, we're at the 10-minute mark. So I'm going to take the spatula now, and I'm just going to flip them. They're starting to get colored. Ooh, it's falling out the pan. Okay, I'm just going to start flipping them over. They're looking nice and pretty, nice and brown. Okay, so do the best you can, flipping them all over so that the side that's not brown can turn over. Okay, now that we got them flipped over, okay, we got them flipped over now. We're going to let them cook for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and put some seasoning on them and cover them up. 5 minutes this time. Okay. Our 5 minutes is up. So now we're just going to flip them again. Now this is how I like mine this color. So if you don't want yours this dark, you just use less time. Or cut your fire down lower, okay? I like the golden brown look. So now I'm going to add the seasonings, which is garlic powder, black pepper, seasoning salt, parsley flakes, and as I told you before, if you don't use or you don't like any of these seasonings, by all means, you don't have to use what I'm using. You can season them to your own taste buds with your own seasonings. Okay. And now I'm going to add the onions, and then I'm going to cover it up. This is a half an onion. So you just want to make sure the onion gets mixed down to the bottom. And I want to add a little more parsley to mine. Okay, now we're going to cut the fire to medium-low, and we're going to let these cook for about 5 minutes with the lid on. We want the onion to cook now. Okay, let's put the lid on. And I'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. Okay, let's see what's going on in the pot. Okay, that fire is on medium-low, right? Hopefully you remember to cut it down. Okay, now we're just going to give it a stir. Check the onions and the potatoes. Now you can kind of chop them up a little if you want to, or you can leave them whole. I like mine a little in between. So as you stir the potatoes with the onions, you can kind of just mash them together. Or you can leave them whole. And I don't like my onion cooked like till it's all mushy. I want to be able to taste the onion as well as the potatoes. So I'm going to let it stay on medium-low. And I'm going to give it another 5 minutes and then it'll be done. I'm sure it's done now, but I like my potatoes well done. And I want my onion to cook just a tad bit more. So let's give it a taste. So good. Yeah, this is perfect. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut my fire back to medium. And I'm going to let them cook for about 3 minutes. And then this meal will be done. Okay, I'm going to cover it back up. 3 minutes on medium. Or you can put it between medium and low. That's a good little piece of fire. Okay, be back in 3 minutes. Okay. All right, 3 minutes is up. This smells so good. Okay, there you have it. It's all done. So I'm just going to let it sit without the fire on. I'm just going to let it sit for about 3 minutes, 5 minutes before serving it. That's just my preference. You can serve yours right now, straight out the skillet, or you can serve it later. But I'm just going to let this sit here And I'm going to put the lid back on and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to plate it. And I'm going to have dinner. So I'll be back. Okay, there goes the finished look. Man, I can't wait to get in there. And I'm going to name these Louise Southern Smothered Potatoes. Thank you for joining me on this video. Hope you enjoy this recipe. And I'll see you on the next one. Be blessed. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you on the next video. Have a good night.